How's it going, everybody? This is Kinema, and we're back with some more modded Modsauce, Minecraft. Yeah, one day I'll get that intro perfectly smooth, and where it rolls off the tongue. So, that being said, we have a hole. Trying to think where I left off in the last. It's been a few days. Oh, I gave yeah. Hopefully you can't hear the stuff in the background. Sounds like a blender going on. But yeah, so I set up the mine. As you saw, Flim was on here. Done quite a bit. What type of hat is that? Oh. So I've been wearing a new hat. You can't see on there. But need to redo my armor. May do that this episode. But as you can see, mined out quite a bit. The quarry is better than I expected. Super fast doing the quarry plus, and I like it. Simply put, I got tons of stone, tons of stuff needed. I went ahead, I still have these here. As you can see, this thing, the 150,000 cobble. This is 570,000 cobble and 11. So I ended up putting dual layers of, I'm not sure if I showed that in the video or not, but I put dual layers of those chests just to kind of, I mean, they were still coming through and getting in my AE system, which was building up. But I mean, I do need a bunch in there. You know, I wasn't planning on putting these in the this deep storage in there at all. And I didn't remember, that may be new with the mod, I didn't remember the deep storage actually being able to keep the inventory when broken, which is odd. For some reason I always thought it would just spew out all over the place. But, so yeah, so that's that, and I'm not sure, I basically had to add a bunch of extra smelters. I think I only added, yeah, this one is probably the only one I added, the octadic. Yeah, octadic capacitor. Same with this. But I got tons. I mean, I was just filling this up left and right with a whole bunch of ore. And as you can see, let's do a nice little count as for supplies for the quarry did. You know, you can see I got quite a bit. Of course, a lot of the stone and dirt went in there, but some was overflowing through. Tons and tons of gravel. That should be good. But we got 11. See that? 11,500 iron. This insane amount of iron. Tons of coal. 5,400 copper. Right around 5,010. 4,700 lead. Got all that silver. That's the charcoal I did. 3,000 redstone. 1,000 lapis. Almost 2,000 lapis. Excuse me. 2,300 osmium. 1,500 gold. 1,800 sorter quartz, and so on. A bunch of ferrous. I had quite a bit. I went ahead and smelted up a lot of the using the little foundry the big smelter unit from Tinker's Construct to combine the cobalt and ardite and to make this malleum, which is what my weapons are made out of. So you can see I got quite a bit of that. Quite a bit of other stuff. These are the charged sorter quartz. Yeah, about 300 diamonds. Just good. Don't really use those much for just different crafting designs. See you later, Flim. We got some ingots from the mana infused stuff. We got some invar. Been making that as I go. We got quite a bit of other stuff picked up. Some obsidian. Looks like it picked up some more of that, and so on. So sapphires, different things that it's broke or found along the way. So pretty good. All in all, I'd say very, very productive mining operation. So we can kind of go on, do some more stuff. I wanted to get the resources so I could do things right here. So some future plans and plans for this episode, and I'm probably going to cut away I want to get into making more storage. I want to add more applied intergistic stuff. Intergistics? I don't know. However, it does always take quite a lot. I want to make more of these drives. I want to enhance my network, probably go into some channels and make some other stuff. Are these things? Yeah, those things, the facades are showing up in there too. So yeah, there's different things you need, but I'm making some of these dense cables, which colored cables do that, the dense. This is this and wool. So need to do quite a bit of that. Need a bunch of wool actually, and I don't know if I ever did I do the wool enchant. I don't know if I did. I had to find out if I actually did. Oh, think I'm losing connection again. I've been having a horrible time fighting with my internet. If I can't click on anything, I should be disconnected anytime now. Well, we will see if I don't get disconnected again. So I made this thing, ended up putting shears in it. This is this autonomous activator. Pretty easy to make. You make these pneumatic servos, some 10 gears, piston, chest. Pretty simple. The gears are basically just 10 around an iron. What this thing does is it will just sit there and spam whatever, right clicks, left clicks, and do different things. So I have shears in it, of course, and if you get the genes from wool, sheep, you can put the shears in here and just sit here, stand in front of it, and it will shear me. Sounds odd, but especially since it's, yeah. So stand here, AFK here, and we will get a full stack of wool. Pretty easy. And you can see the durability on the shears go down. You can fill it full of shears, and it just will, once one breaks, start using the other. So if you want to AFK for a longer period of time. But that will give us, I guess I can put those back. I had to actually do the, I still had quite a bit of, if we look in here, so like you saw, this one cells from a sheep, cells from a squid, so I still had some cells, and we have, here's another woolly. So woolly only took 8 basic genes to make, so it was very easy to go ahead and put in the breeder, breed it up, and then of course come in here and combine it with my DNA. So I went ahead and took that back, so I get that. So I can basically now AFK here and get all the wool I need, and I think with Fanako is needing some too. Can AFK and get all the wool I need for my cables. So I'm probably going to go AFK, or probably going to look into this, but then also do a cut and get some applied intergistic stuff set up. And I'm probably going to build more than I should, but I want to have more time to sit there and explain it and why I did what I did and what it actually does. Pretty cool little setup, something I've been researching and trying to figure out, and it will help me further my expansion and get more involved into applied intergistics. So let me get that set up. I will probably set it up in a not so permanent location and then try to figure out exactly how I want it. Or I don't know. Let me play around. I may figure out exactly how I need it. Well. It is the next morning, and left off talking about doing a little bit more applied intergistics AE work. And you may notice I put a roof on my building. Not sure if I'm completely thrilled with it, but for right now I think it kind of caps it off. it needed to kind of get a finishing touch. I went ahead and did the post and different things around the corner from the micro blocks. And if we come in here, things look quite a bit different. You notice some things that cleared around, and we got this terminal that drops down from the ceiling. Now, you can still walk under it, you know, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do more in here. I kind of want to spruce it up a little bit, make it look a little bit better. But we have our crafting terminal. So, as you can imagine, everything is probably up there. Now, if we go up, these are elevator blocks. They're very easy to craft. They are ender pearl surrounded by wool, which I got plenty of. I got like a auto-generating supply of wool, as y'all saw. So this room looks quite a bit different. You may wonder what everything does. So I went ahead and moved this up. Started getting into channels. Pretty cool. You're going to see a lot of stuff here, and I'll walk through and explain a lot of stuff as I go. So channels is one thing that kind of was introduced with AE2. Now, channels go, you have to have a ME controller. You can see I'm pulling tons of power now. You have to have an ME controller, which we have, and then these dense cables, which do, as you can see, you know, I think the ME controller can support up to 32 channels, and that is a multi-block structure as well, so you can stack another one beside it and get more channels if you need it. So I went out with the dense cable just because you can only have a max of 8 items per channel. So if we look on here, that's a 0 of 8. I guess it registers those as none. Okay. So yeah, so we went out, ran different systems over here and then over on the other side. Hooked up my ender chest, put glass above it, and then here's my thing. You know, it's got my send and receive items, so I can send things through the tesseract, or not tesseract, through the dimensional receiver and go directly into my system, just like I had previously. So, actually, wait a minute. I may need to try that. I just noticed that cable was not connected. Yeah, so I went ahead and I mean I can unhook stuff. I'm sure if I unhook these things, they will probably stop taking quite a bit of power. Until I run into an issue, I'll probably just leave them active. I'll have to check, make sure I'm still doing good up top. But yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out if I'm gonna need to run that a different way. So over here, quite a bit of stuff. Now I wanted to get in to do some automatic crafting, and to do that you had to have a couple of blocks. You had to have these crafting units, these coprocessors, and then these different storage. Now I probably have way too much than I need. I thought these coprocessors would give me, but I kept getting the same message, so I got to do a little bit more research. This is a connected block structure, and so once you start putting them all in place, you have to have it in a square. So if you could have one, or you had to have 4x4 or 2x2, and then you could add 2 more on the side, or then 3 more across it. So you have to kind of just keep going. You have to kind of keep going through everything. So, sorry about that. So basically, I went ahead and wired it up. The dense cable comes right through here, connected to that, and it runs off. Since I got all these cables connected to this actually takes up, 1 of 1, you see 2 of 2, all the way down. It ended up taking up 8 of the channels on that cable, so I had to run this whole section into the dense cable. What this is you may notice 4 different inscribers, and the way that I have this hooked up is these are all ME interface pipes with a pattern. And if we go down to, oh, not in there, first floor, our pattern terminal, you can see, actually, I guess I still have some in here from the last one I did. You can take the circuit. Oh, this is for the other part. Basically put in the raw ore, and I think, do I have a circuit? No, I don't. But then you can put in a circuit here and craft a pattern for it. And then the pattern, you put in those ME interfaces so it knows this is what I am going to make and the resources I need. So in this case, makes this with 1 gold ingot, as you can see down in the tooltip. So it knows to just throw an ingot in here and it will output this printed logic circuit. Then over here, it is kind of a little more complicated. I wanted to get it looking good, and I guess I should have did a clip to explain a lot of this before I got it put together. We have export buses. This exports redstone, puts it in the middle. The bottom one has an export bus that exports the printed. However, I had to make this craft card to try to get silicon, but it's not working for me. I don't know, I have to worry or look into this design a little bit more. So what I did is I basically just made like 100 silicone to get that. And then up here is an ME interface with the different patterns. Say this needs a printed calculation circuit, this needs a printed logic circuit, and so forth. So now what I can do is go in my ME system and say, okay, well, you can click this to things you can craft, and these are all the patterns I have up. I'm going to go ahead and do 10 more of those just in case. No, it's just because I want to craft. I think I have plenty of those in there. So let's say I wanted a logic processor. Click 1, next, available. Yep. And then it will craft it on up. So if we go in here to logic, you can see I don't have any. These are the patterns. They have the little pluses by them. And any minute now, there you go, 1. So basically it took that whole manual process of making circuits for all the AE stuff, basically made it, all automatic. So the only issue I have so far with this system is I just have to make sure that I have plenty of printed silicon, which I do. I got 100 of them. So I went ahead with that, having that automated. I made a few extra features. You may notice a lot more drive settings. Before I only had just 1 filled up. Now I have another one. I made more 16K and a lot of 4K, just so I can. The 4Ks are nice just because it holds, it can hold the lower values of the. Since it holds 63 items, but it's pretty cheaper to make than the other. So I may fill all this up just with 4Ks, and then when I start running out of space, then swap them out for some 16s. And then, of course, what I'll probably need to do is go on some of these 16K storage and put like, stone or something in here. Because I did end up getting my Quarry Plus Silk Touch. So messed around, kept getting some enchants, and I did that. So yep. So that's pretty much all that I did here, except there's one extra feature, and y'all may have saw it on here. So I made this wireless access point, and I put these wireless boosters. Now I did make tons more. I think I have up to like 24. It does mess with my power usage quite a bit, as you can see. Power consumption is down. That still bothers me. I gotta remember about that. Oh, I bet the charger was pulling tons of power. Okay. So basically what I did is I got that access point hooked up and this terminal. Now, I know I'm kind of going through this stuff pretty quick, so, you know, I guess I could do a quick run through. Export buses, you got to make a lot of these cores. There's the foundation cores and the import, or where's the import bus? Import bus uses these other cores, which are pretty easy to make. You just got to have a lot of logic processors, which you now know I can autocraft pretty easily. But I did have to spend quite a bit of time doing some crafting of these things to make all of this stuff. So that's basically it. The import buses and the export buses. So then we also had to do the interfaces, which I used the square ones, and then once you do the square ones, which is takes those cores, you can put it back in your crafting area and just turn it into, you know, just either a thin one or a full square, which if you notice I went with the thin ones here. So that works for that. And next up we have, of course, the inscribers. Showed that. It's pretty simple. All of these crafting ones, pretty complex crafting unit, and then you have to then make the processors. You have to then just basically add another engineering processor with the crafting unit. Then you have to make these storage. So basically the same way as normal storage, you just combine it with a crafting unit. And of course I went ahead and made, I actually got 2 green ones down there. Now I still got to do some research on this, so I don't really want to get too much into the whole crafting thing, because right now the only crafting I'm doing is the processors. I would like to get into more other crafting. I mean, before in the old AE, you just had to make an actual structure, and then what was the name of it? Basically a large multi-block structure, and then you could just drop all your patterns and everything in there and then access them through here in one system. This works a little bit differently, and I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'll get there eventually. So yeah, so I got the pattern and the regular, and then I just threw some regular ME terminals on here just to kind of clean up and make the whole, you know, every side look pretty good. And you could technically access it, just only this first one does the crafting, this one does the patterns. Now if you are doing and making patterns, there's 2 features here. There's the crafting one, which basically treats it as kind of like if you'd normally craft stuff. And then there's the processing pattern. Remember that button there? That's the one thing I forget. I kept trying to make the processors and couldn't figure out how. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into that little wireless access point. So it starts out at 16 meters or 16 blocks. And then you make the wireless boosters to get them boosted up. Well, you make this little wireless terminal, and as you can probably guess, here's my system. And I don't know, I haven't gone out of range yet. Just with the 12 in there, out of range. So just with the 12 in there, I can actually stand all the way here, which means I can probably go over to the main spawn area, all around my base so far. And still access. So pretty cool. So now I was going to just run cables everywhere to each building and all that, and I really don't need to because I got this. Now the further away, I think the more power you do use. Um, so I am going to have to be cautious on that. But no, that's pretty it. Pretty it. Pretty much it. So um, it's extremely awesome. I can pull it out, pull out stuff in my inventory that I want, drop it back in if I wanted to, only around my base area. So like as I'm working here and I need to put a bunch of stuff in the smelter again, you know, I can say, okay, well, I need to smelt something. Let's smelt some sorter squirts, and there we go. No leaving, going up there to the control panel or any of that. So I will have to remember this does have a charge. And does it... Yeah, I'm guessing it only goes down when... looks like it only goes down when you have it open, which is good. So it should last quite a while. And then this is smelting up. So I'm going to have to do a few tests. I'll do that off camera to figure out why my dimensional receiver's not hooked up. I may just have to run some additional cable, do some additional cabling or something up there. I don't know if I have a dense cable, but I can check. Her cable. Power receive items, that should be good. It's still not linked up though. Oh, you know what? I didn't have it actually connected to that. That probably doesn't hook up. I'm gonna have to take this piece of glass out and get just an actual... Wait, I think I have it. Item conduct. Okay, well, I'll figure this out. I think that's the issue that I had. Extract. Okay, so that should work when I basically put an item in there. It should go. I want it to resend. Okay, well, I'll set something up to send and run some items through it to test. I think that should work because I have it extracting from there. This is set up for items to receive items, and it should go into the ender chest and back into the system. I'm pretty confident that is the way I had it hooked up. I do have that bump there. I gotta see if I can do something about that. But anyway, been rambling on quite a bit and need to get this this video out. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about my system. Hopefully you enjoy it. I got to figure out stuff to do in here, but I will do that sometime. And I want to clean this up. So this is probably my next project. So I may do some more stuff off camera to get a lot of these things kind of cleaned up. But I want to also do some more building. So anyway, Thanks for watching. This has been Kenema, and I'll talk to you later.